Hey you all, so I wanted to bring you some more information about a trace mineral. And it's just amazing to see how these little things, seemingly insignificant things, make such a big difference. And we all have some area that we need to improve in our health, and if we can prevent it versus waiting for some sort of a diagnosis, like why live a tortured life if you don't have to have freedom in your body. So I wanted to talk to you today about iodine. Iodine is one of the trace minerals, like zinc and copper. The reason why we need iodine is because it helps with almost every function in our body needs it, but there's some areas that use more iodine, and when we don't have it, it's a significant impact on our health. Like with cancer, there's been found to be a direct correlation between iodine deficiency and breast cancer. And another thing that it helps with is the hormonal imbalance, which makes a lot of sense because the iodine's effect on our hormone affects the cancer, because when there's an imbalance, that's when this cancer is promoted. And so because iodine is significant or necessary in order to balance our hormones, not having enough has this side effect as well. Next is brain and reproductive health. So when we think about things like a fetus developing, baby developing in a mother's womb, this is one of the things that is very significant and has an impact on the child in regards to their brain development. And so it's been found that lower levels of the iodine will cause mental retardation and learning disability. So very important, ladies that are looking to get pregnant. Next is with the metabolism and weight control. And of course, as we'll talk about a little bit later as well, it affects the thyroid. So the thyroid has a huge impact on our hormones. And if that's not efficient, then so many other things are affected, as we spoke about. So our hormone balance, this has a huge impact on our body being able to balance our hormones, which is important for male and female, males and females. Okay, so if that affects, our hormone affects our metabolism, then our metabolism is going to affect our weight. So having significant or enough iodine can also help for you to lose body fat, to lose weight. And then the opposite affects the thyroid, and hormone imbalance causes it to gain excess weight. So some of you have experienced that just seemingly out of the blue. It doesn't seem like you change much as far as what you're taking in and doing, but your body can't lose fat, and especially in certain areas. So that's important. Now, another thing that iodine helps with is detoxification. And so, with the increase of toxins and the products that we use, just in the atmosphere, what's sprayed in the atmosphere, these things can affect our body negatively. And we want to be able to have a way to help our body to detoxify. So this is one of the things that iodine does. And of course, the deficiency of that, you'll get so many other side effects. It affects, once again, our hormones, when we have these heavy metals and other harmful chemicals that are just in excess in our bodies, building up in our bodies because of it being around us and us using it, and also being in our food. Another thing is with our immune function. Of course, the iodine helps to support the immune system. And then some of the causes of deficiency is like what I mentioned to you, is the deficiency that's in the soil. So we're not getting in what we're supposed to be getting in through the food we're eating. So it's supposed to have it in there so that we can then benefit from it. But if that's not the case because of the GMO foods and things such as that, then we're not getting it in and we're experiencing the side effects. But the issue is that because it's not one of the standard tests that are taken, like when you get your standard blood work, like there's no, like, we might check for vitamin D or magnesium, sometimes potassium, and a couple of other ones. But when it comes to these other essential nutrients that we need, like there aren't any standard tests for that. And the thing is that if we're not getting it from the food and there's no standard test, and we're just easily associating our symptoms to our age or to something else, or just thinking that that's just part of our own personal function of our body, just a weakness that we have personally. And what I'm seeing time and time again is that nutrient deficiencies are at the root of so many of our problems. So always take it back to there before you add in any synthetics. So endocrine disruptors, they can be in our clothes. Like I said, the toxins that we have in our environment. Another thing is stress. Negative stress negatively impacts the thyroid. It depletes certain nutrients, and these nutrients then directly affect the thyroid. So iodine helps in that area. And like I said, because our stress levels have changed, a lot of times there'll be recommendations for certain minerals and vitamins, essential vitamins, things that we're supposed to actually take in, but they're not at the level that we need, because at the time that they were set, our lifestyle was completely different. Think about it. Many of our lifestyles have changed significantly just over the past 5 years or 2 years. And so when we're looking at those changes, we need more to handle certain things. We need a different balance in order to handle certain things and address certain things. And so iodine deficiency can help with that. It helps to detoxify our bodies as well, so we're not having that buildup of these toxins in our body, which is important with our toxic load being higher. So it'll affect weight loss, as we discussed, because it affects your hormones and cognitive and mental development and mental health all the way across the board, especially in children that are being, that are developing in the womb. So if it affects our hormones, then that affects our reproductive health, male and female. And so you can have a risk of miscarriages and stillbirths, PCOD, menstrual irregularities, prostate enlargement, all of these things, testicular cysts. All of these things are associated with low iodine. And then, of course, the issues with the thyroid, because it's one of the minerals that is highly needed or utilized by our thyroid. Some of the side effects or things you can experience is an intolerance to cold, maybe cold hands and feet, hair falling out, very dry skin. These are not just due to age. One of the things that does affect it is sugar, but also because of the way that sugar affects the liver and how sugar affects our hormones. So you have that dry skin, you could have dry mouth, migraines, like I said, slow thyroid function. All of these things are affected by a deficiency in iodine. Okay, now some good sources of iodine is fish and seafood, pasture-raised eggs, not the standard, cage-free eggs that you'll find at the store, and grass-fed beef and organ meats. Grass-fed beef and organ meats. Now, if our foods are raised the right way, for instance, for example, with the beef, then we can have all the nutrients that are supposed to be in there. If they're grazing on grass that is not GMO, it's not GMO corn, which is what a lot of them are fed with, but they're grazing the way that they're supposed to, they're getting in the nutrients that they should, then we have a better chance of getting these in. But even with this, and like I said, our lifestyles and things like that, supplementation is something that's really beneficial, especially when you're trying to bring yourself back to optimal level. And the studies have shown the results to be very positive. And so I wanted to refer you to someone who has done extensive research in it, and I've gotten a lot of my references from. It's Dr. David Brownstein, and he has a book about iodine, and it's called Iodine: Why You Need It and Why You Can't Live Without It. I'll leave his link down below as well. So I hope that was helpful, you all, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.